Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, almost afternoon.
Good
And
morning,
so
everybody. Good morning.
good morning to everybody as you all decide to come in, or as I always say, I get a lot of texts for replays. Um, they get a chance to go back and look at whatever was said or what was happening in the moment. So we appreciate that as well. And so today has already started off a busy day. It's gonna be busy. I can tell you that right now. And we're just gonna keep moving forward and doing what we feel like we're supposed to be doing. So Miss Latrice, you're here with us today. We know that we send our prayers and condolences to LaFay.
Yes.
Um for her situation and what's going on with her. And we'll just keep her in our prayers, Lefay. And then we also have Miss Beavers, who's out of town. They're on the road. So
Yes.
pray for
Safe
their safe
travels.
travels. Yes, and I was
Yes.
going to say safe travels and safe return back to us. So that leaves you and me to
Here we
kind
are.
of kind of scroll through here today and do what we do. And I'm still just glad to be here, and glad that we have been entrusted to do the things that we do.
Yes.
Is huge to me. So
It's big to be trusted to do what you assigned to do.
yes, it's
Yeah.
huge. And then always remembering that it is not us, that is this it's our God, that has
Yeah.
entrusted us and given us stewardship in areas. And so that becomes important. I had a couple of things in my mind now as I'm chattering up. You knew that was coming. But I wanna roll back the tide. We all been got a couple of things that have been going on with us. And obviously, I want to notably say we can see your face slimming and you're looking all cutified over there. And we are so happy. And even in praying for you for health and whatever, all the things that you're looking for to come out of your journey, as I'm doing the same on mine. So I'm like, God,
Hmm.
help me. Over here, Lord Jesus, as I can put down some sweets and Karen's zone that I like to chew on over here and everything. But I don't know if you got to see. Um, so that with you, I know I have some travel coming up. So you guys, I'll be at the mix for. Let me go ahead and say that I'll be at the mix for a little while because I'm not. If I post pictures, it'll be food, probably some kind of food that I'm eating now. That's my thing. Whenever I go out of state, out the country, whatever, I like to try different meals. As you guys come in, say hey to us if anybody's coming in,
Yes.
because we are spread out now. We're not here every Saturday. Of course, you guys know that. So as you come in, just say hey to us, and we love to hear from you as well.
And
So
y'all
with that,
like, love, and share. Like, love, and share, especially if
like,
you're
love,
watching
and
on the
share.
Connect
Yes,
Up page. We want to, when we do come on, we want to share with as many people as we can because whatever
right.
God gives us, we know it's for somebody.
Right, right, right. So we want to share. We want to share. And like I said, they come back in sometimes late. I'm sure,
Yeah.
whatever. But still, like she's saying, that like and share is going to be, important as well. Especially like I said, because we're not on here every week anymore, like we were before. So,
Yeah.
but we're still here. We're still here. Um, Good morning. Good morning. Glad to have you joining
Hey,
us.
Pastor Gina. Hey.
Good morning. I wanted to ask you something, Latrice. I went to see, just to roll me in, um, uh, what's it called? Woman King. Have you
I
seen it?
haven't seen it yet. This little homebody is so happy to be at home that I have not been out the house much. So I have
Well,
not seen it, but I am going to see it.
go see it. And I really enjoyed it. Some of the facts that came from it, the truths, that, understanding even that it's based on truth,
Hmm.
and then understanding how some of the things came about that I heard after the fact, were amazing to me. But everybody's always teasing me because I'm your little, if it was up to me when I was back in the young, I'd probably been Miss Feminist up in the front of something like equal rights and all this,
You,
because
you,
I
you
I
would
go
have.
I go in like, what,
Yeah.
whatever. So so of course it's my kind of thing. I loved it, but I think the biggest takeaway for me, and I heard Viola Davis, which I love her acting, saying that understanding the feminine power that we have and
Mm-hmm.
wielding it to do the things that we do. And I think too that when we see a lot of times major things taking place, that's not to say that the men don't, because that's my thing. I think sometimes we think about feminism, we've always talked about how they belittle the men or they didn't think the men. That's not that part ain't my thing. I'm just always engulfed with our ability as women when we
Mm-hmm.
can pull ourselves together to do the things that need to be done.
Yeah. And
And
I mean,
so,
there's so much to us. There's so much to us. We're nurturers. We're cultivators. We are pushers. We can push people to do things that sometimes other people can't. We can inspire people. We can encourage people. And so I'm with you. It's not all about
no,
the what they do, the male bashing or nothing. It's not about that at all. It's about building us up in this strength that we do have.
that we do
There's so
have.
many women don't even realize how much strength they have until some other woman shows it to them. Some other woman says, "Hey, sis,
Exactly.
look at you. Look at what you can do. Look at
Right.
the power you have in your hands. The like the genius that God has put in you." And so sometimes it takes a woman to inspire and empower a woman.
To inspire and empower a woman. And think about this too. And when we have women that get behind even men and start pushing the agenda or start pushing, we are amazing
Mm-hmm.
just to be able to do the things that we do. I don't know what's wrong with me, but just be able to do the things that we do and to move forward. And that's huge to me. And every time I see it happening, I don't know, I'm just in awe with it, like, oh my God, we could do that or they could do that, or that's something that we can put together to do. So this movie to me encompasses that about women.
I can't wait to see it.
It just to me encompasses that about women when we're told what we can't do. And this was for a group of women that to be in this, they were considered the neglected, or the ones that they didn't have value in, or they thought they weren't going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
These bad women, and they
Mm-hmm.
turned it around and just became everything. So I
Oh, I can't
loved it.
wait to see that.
I loved it. I told Chris as soon as we left, Chris was like, I could look at that again. I'm like, I'm gonna look at that again. Like I'm going to go back and look at that again. So I absolutely love that. I was glad to be able to to go see it. So I didn't know if you had got to see that, but
I haven't yet, but I am going.
that's been my thing. I just been thinking about it, and the power that we flow in. And as a result, I had a young lady that called me. I hadn't talked to her in years. Like, she was one of the women. She was young when I met her, like super young. I'm talking about she wasn't even an adult. And so she was interested in our care for a while at the job I had. And I remember um, how she was towards me, and in the polar differences between how she was with me and how she was with her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just up the other day and reached out to me, and she said she had been trying to find me, but she couldn't find me. She finally found me. I go and hiding on social media, so she finally found me. Out, but I be busy. Like, I'm like, I need an
Sometimes,
automation.
sometimes a social media break is good for all of us.
Oh my,
Sometimes that moment to just get some clarity and to pull away and to not see the opinions and the thoughts and the rigmarole and the fights and all of that of other people is so good for us to just step away and just take
yes,
a moment so that our ear gates can be reset, our eye gates can be reset, our
yes,
mental clarity can be reset. So you go in hiding sometimes, but I believe that because our world is so social media driven now, we do need to learn how to take breaks. We need to
yes.
learn how to just, look for real, look to the hills.
Look,
We say that we
yeah,
quote that scripture, but for real, turn our attention and focus away from it so that we don't
hello.
miss God. We don't miss something that He wants to give us. So keep taking your social media hiatus. It's
Look
okay.
here, I would take one in a hot minute, and everything. And so, Jack, like you're saying, even for us just to deal with life. Sometimes we need to pull away from everything else and say,
Yeah,
okay, this is where I am right now. And I
yeah.
think too, for us, going in that vein, just what her calling was, that understanding how important that is as well. And so her thing was just trying to find me. And so she did, and we had a whole long conversation about some life things that needed to take place. And and she was like, I just need to get back to, she want to get back to Atlanta and everything. And I said, if you get here, we're here, but things that you're going to have to do. But again, going back into that, being able to empower one another. And I felt like, for me, and I think all of us, just trying to figure out, what does it take when we're under those stressors, to pull ourselves back together to get back up again. And
Mm-hmm.
so for her, it was like, I needed somebody, and I needed somebody. And really, I
That's
felt like I
good.
did nothing. I gave, a couple of suggestions and what have you. But in my mind, I'm just doing what we do, and I'm good, with
But
that. And I'm
sometimes we present that alternative perspective that
right,
people may not have thought of. And for us, it's like, well, I just would have thought of that. But for somebody else, so when you thought, and I love that you said, I feel like I didn't do nothing. But even in your feeling like you didn't do anything, you gave her something that was necessary for her.
right,
That's
right.
good right there.
Right. That's what I'm
Even when
saying.
you feel like you're not doing
You're
anything,
not doing anything.
don't
Oh,
underestimate what you're doing.
and it feel like the smallest thing that
Can make
wouldn't
the
have,
biggest impact.
and it made the biggest impact. I think the next day she was calling and texting me and said, I'll be back in the city on such and such day. This is where I'm gonna be staying. This is what, so from that one conversation, she came up with a whole plan for how she could move forward from where she is right now. I think she's in
One
DC.
conversation.
One conversation.
It
And so
shifted her mindset, her direction, and her behavior.
everything.
She got into gear
Yes,
and made a
everything.
plan. My Lord. Listen,
And
I don't know who's listening today, but I hope y'all heard her when she said from one conversation.
one.
And sometimes we're not willing to have the conversation. And
Mhm.
and because we think we don't know how the conversation is gonna go, or we think, oh, they're gonna be judgmental or whatever it is. But sometimes we need to hear God through somebody else. One
Yes.
conversation, and this young lady has come up with a plan, and she is really making moves now that's going to change her life and that's going to get her where she's been trying to go. One conversation, just
One
one.
conversation.
Yeah.
One conversation is all it took. And so I'm saying from that, and we were talking about women and the power that we wield and don't even realize sometimes that we are doing it. Because I didn't, like you're saying, I didn't, but of course, God did. He knew what she needed to hear. He
Right.
knew where she was, and that, and what about this? What about this? And that understanding that within one conversation or one word, it can shake somebody's world and change. Out of
Okay.
that, we get
You know how people say one word from God?
one
That
word,
really is true.
one
Well,
word,
God can say yes or no, and that yes or no can change your whole life. He can say
change
yes,
your
no,
whole
wait, and
life.
that whole just one word can change everything about you. Because
Right.
here's the thing: when we get the word, the reason why this is what I believe. The reason why that one word changes our life is because when we get the word, we have to get in agreement with the word. When
Yes.
we get the word, we have to then act on the word. The Bible says, "Be ye not just hearers of the word, but be doers." So
Do it.
this young lady is an example of that.
A whole
Whatever
example.
you said to her, she then did something with it. She made her a
Yes.
plan.
Yes, yes, yes.
One
Check
word.
this. One word. One word. And so us just aligning and being what we're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to do. And then the other thing I wanted to stress with that was, just talking about how, we're saying we want help. We're saying we want out of where we are sometimes. We want to move forward sometimes. But one thing she did, and I definitely got to add this in, she was honest. When I tell you she laid everything on the line, and
That's
sometimes we say we want help and we want the truth, but we're overshadowing, we're not laying it all out there because we don't want to be judged or thought of in a certain way. But when I tell you
yeah.
that it was no holds barred for her, it was everything from
There does come a time when you got to lay it all on the table.
right.
You have to be completely honest with God. You got to be honest with yourself, and you just got to be open and honest with the people who you need help from. Because
Exactly.
okay, let's be clear. You know, we're Christian women, we preachers, we pastors, we all that good stuff, we prophets and all of that. And so people think, well, she a prophet or he a prophet, so I don't have to tell them everything. Why is it that we want to be in that place where we want to make people have to guess or make people have to
Uh-uh.
fight to help you?
Right.
I said a long time ago, I don't wrestle with nobody's demons.
Right.
So
Right.
when we say we want help, like you said, we have to just lay it on the table. We
Yeah.
got to get beyond our pride, get beyond, I don't know how they're going to think about me. Does it really matter when we want help?
When you want
Because
help,
we want help from God, for real, we just like, God help me. First
yes.
of all, he know it all anyway. He done seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. And we just like, we crying out, we opening up when we
Right.
want some help for
When,
real. And I
yes.
think that as a people, I know because we've been hurt in places, we've been wounded, we've been, we've had some issues. I get all of that. At
Yes.
the end of
Yes.
the day, we want some help. It's like you said, sister, we got to open up.
Right.
We
Right.
got to
Right.
open our mouth and say, this is where I am. And this is where I'm trying to get to. And I don't know how.
And I don't know how. And that's where she was, and I'm saying, I think that, to me, that's just that in itself was amazing. And so as I began to process it afterwards, I was like, so for us as women, because like you're saying, we've been hurt, we've been, so much distrust and what have you. But if
Mm-hmm.
you have someone that you can call and you can be honest with, don't call playing games. Just go ahead and put it out there so you can get what it is that you honestly need. And I think that she's still an adult now, but she's young, but there was no hiding. And so we're wanting help from whatever we're dealing with, but yet we want to hide and get it. And it just doesn't work that way.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. You said something right there. We want help, but we want to hide. Wait a minute now. We
You
want
can't,
help, but we want to hide.
but we want to
So
hide.
you're going to have to make a decision, right? We got to either come out of hiding or forfeit the help.
A fort girl.
Because
Exactly.
here's the thing. We'll give people half of a story.
Hey.
And then we'll get upset when we don't get the full help that we need. And they'll say, well, I thought she was, and I thought he was, and I thought, I figured if I just told them, they would know what to do, or they would know. No, you're going to have to come out of hiding. Or, man, that'll preach right there by itself.
Exactly.
Come out of hiding.
You got
Or forfeit the help. Lord have mercy.
And we got to be, at some point, I remember times in my life, and I'm sure it'll come again, that I was desperate for help. Desperate. And it didn't matter what I had to do to get it or who I had, I was going to do that because I wanted out of where I was.
Right.
And I think that, for those that listen to us today, there's still a lot going on, Trees. And Chris and I was talking about that, and it's so much still happening and occurring. And I talked about, we were having a conversation that we just can't go back to life as normal, but we got to open up our mouths and we got to say, this is what I need. Mm-hmm. And this is where I am. This the part I jacked up. I know I jacked it up, but this is what I need. I need something to move forward. I don't know what that is, but we can't be hiding and trying to present that we're all of something that we're not.
Sometimes we don't know where we are.
Exactly.
One of the speakers at No More Drama, she talked about how we're not emotionally intelligent. And so we can't even articulate where we are because we don't know. Part of the reason we don't know is because we haven't taken the time to assess it. Right. We haven't taken the time to sit with ourselves and say, okay, where am I? Am I wounded or am I offended?
Right.
So we can get real about this thing. Right. Am I disappointed? Or am I really depressed, or am I just disappointed? We don't know where we are emotionally, mentally, financially. Some people don't know where they are.
Right.
Spiritually, we don't know. Right. And so then we know we need help. But you know what? I think that at this point in life, we ought to be able to say, you know what? I don't even know where I am right now.
Right.
I really can't pinpoint what my issue is. But when we do that, we then open ourselves up for God to show something to us through somebody else, for him to say, okay, this is the real issue.
Right.
Maybe you're wounded. Maybe you're offended. Maybe you're disappointed. Right. But we got to take some time to assess where we are, like within ourselves, so that then we can develop a strategy, a plan to get to where we say we want to go. Because you know what? We might want to go somewhere different once we realize where we are.
You got that right. So like you're saying that like you're saying, even am I disappointed or am I depressed? Where am I? What is going on? And I think that it would behoove all of us to sit back. I'm always in assess because you have to, and figure out where we are, because like I just said, there's a lot has happened.
A lot.
And I don't care if it's been a year, 2 years. Some people lost whole generations. You know what I'm saying? A family, like a whole freaking generation got wiped out,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, and then you got all these other things that are still occurring around. And there is a lot going on in our lives.
Hmm.
And some of the things we've done or haven't done. And so being able to assess where you are and opening your mouth to be honest about that. I don't care. We're not here to impress one another and look like we got all our stuff together when we know we don't.
When we
And
know we don't.
we know we don't. So if you cannot be honest, like this Facebook user, I don't know who it is, says, be honest with
It's
God
me.
yourself, okay, and know who you need help from. We've got to be able to do that, because otherwise, like I told her, you keep going around the same circle over and over again. You don't get off that merry-go-round until you're willing to open your mouth and talk and say, this is what
Yeah.
I need, or this is where I think I am. This is, at least this is how I feel. These are things that have happened. And I'm not saying that some people think that when we start encouraging people to do that, that we're encouraging them to stay where they are. No, we're saying you can't move forward until you address that.
Right. And it's not, this definitely not saying stay where you are, because where you are is not working for you.
Right,
Where you are is maybe part of the problem.
right,
And so we're not saying stay where you are, but where are you going?
right,
Before you make a move, you need to know where you're going before you
right,
just jump out there. And I know people say, oh, just take the jump, make the leap. And sometimes you do. But
right.
guess what? Most times when we're saying take that jump and make that leap, you
Right.
know what you're leaping toward.
I was going to say,
You know what you're jumping toward, because we're encouraging you to go after a dream or go after a vision.
yes.
Go after your business or your ministry or whatever it is. We're not telling you to jump blindly.
That I was just to say, not blindly. We're not
Right.
saying blind. Most of the time when we say take that leap or take that jump, you have an idea where you're going and what you're going after.
Exactly.
And we say, go ahead, you gotta do it, because there is no prospering, no moving forward. I've learned that everything that we have accomplished and everything that we've done has come with some risk that I
Yeah.
was not aware of before I took the leap, or
Yeah.
I didn't know how. And then what I thought I would see wasn't what I saw at all. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you jump into something and it's a hold or whatever. I didn't expect that, but so there are those risks
Yeah.
as you move forward. But if you're not willing to take the risk,
Yeah.
then that you're not willing to move forward,
But you
because
know
they
what?
come hand in hand.
Everything comes with risk. When we
Yeah.
get in our cars and go to the grocery store, it comes with the risk of somebody running the stop sign or running the red light, or it
Oh
comes with
God.
somebody being in the grocery store acting a whole crazy and we just trying to get out of there. Everything about our life comes with the risk.
Right. Right.
Everything. And so
So
we
you
have to
had,
learn. And we like to say, oh, that's too big of a risk. But
yeah.
sometimes it's the big risk that's
That
going
make
to
out, yes.
that's going to cause us to get to where we were supposed to be. We
Right.
cannot live life without risk.
Right. You cannot.
Listen, when we tell you to take the leap and take the jump, we're saying leap over fear, leap over your doubts, leap over the worry of what people are going to say or how they're going to feel, or even how other people have done it. Because what I noticed too is that we will look at what everybody else is doing and we'll say, well, they do it like this, and I don't quite do it like that. And so
Right.
I think that the way they do it, I need to do it like that. But what if that's not the blueprint God is giving you?
Right.
What if
Right.
that's not the instruction God is giving you? He's giving you something else, something different, but you're like, I'm scared. I'm just gonna hold on. And so
Right.
then you don't really know where you are, because all
Right.
you're doing is sitting and watching.
Right.
You're
Right.
sitting and watching,
Right.
and you're
Right.
never taking the risk.
Right. And and there's so many of us that have missed so many opportunities,
Missed
and
moments,
and
my
miss
Lord.
miss moments, because we would not take a risk.
Yeah.
We didn't think ourselves worthy to take a risk. And so for me, with the young lady phone call, the watching the woman king, I was like, we are powerful beyond our imaginations of what has been invested in us. And so for any woman that even may tune back in or is listening, to know that don't miss your opportunity because of fear.
Yeah.
Don't miss your opportunity because of you deciding to present yourself in a way that you know is not who you are. And
Oh, yeah,
because
that's good.
because you can't live like that. You see, like if I'm always presenting the fake me, I'm oppressed and depressed anyway. I can't live like that.
Yeah,
Like
you
I need to
can't
be able
flourish
to
like
be.
that. You cannot truly live your dreams like that. Because
No.
first of all, if you're always presenting the fake you, then when does the real you get to celebrate? When is the real you get to acknowledge that this is what God has allowed me to accomplish?
Yes.
When is
Yes.
the real you get to say, what do people say? I started at the bottom, now I'm here. However, when
Right.
does the real you get to say, I did start at that point and I have progressed? Because we have all this false humility, and we just like, well, yeah, we what is it? We play little, we play small, we
Oh
downplay
my
who we are, what we do.
God.
Listen, I used to have it bad. I used to downplay everything. I used to play small. You would have never known all the different things that God allows me to do because I wouldn't talk about it. I would
Right.
I would
Right.
never celebrate it.
Right. Right.
And here's why we wouldn't celebrate. I'm just be honest about me. I wouldn't celebrate it because other people wouldn't celebrate it. Well, baby,
Right.
it don't matter. If God lets you do it, you celebrate it. Whoever comes
Celebrate.
along for the celebration is all right.
It's
And whoever
okay.
doesn't, it's all
It's
right.
okay. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
And so just be able to become who we really really are is life shaking to life changing for me. It
Yeah.
has been and not because I know for a long time, even something as simple as I don't want to talk about my relationship with my husband because somebody gonna feel like, oh, she bragging or she whatever because they had that she ended up in a good marriage. But what I always knew was that the good Lord just watched out for my crazy self and got me, because I'd be like, I say, Lord God, thank you for just giving me to him because my mind was not in the right place, what have you. So they didn't know that, but he just blessed that union. So even something as simple as that, we find a way to play small or be who we're not, whatever. So I'm just saying to any woman that comes and looks at this and whoever sees it, that be true to who you are,
Yeah.
be okay with the power that has been invested in you.
Come on now.
As we say, be okay with it because it is what it is, and don't worry about it. And then if you're in a spot right now, like the young lady called me the other day, and just open your mouth, find that person that you trust, and you can
That
say,
safe
"This
place.
is where I am." And sometimes it's just a matter of being able to get it off you, the
Mm-hmm.
truth about you off you versus you holding on to it, even if they don't give you no whole bunch of advice. Just being able sometimes to say this, and this,
Yeah, because
whatever, and
I've had people to tell me, you know what, I just feel better now that I've been able to say it.
say it.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, and that
Because
makes a
sometimes
difference.
we just need to release.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes,
we just need to
yes,
release. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes. And so that makes a difference. So just sometimes being able to do that has mattered to all of us. And so just knowing that so if you're one of those women and that you feel like that you haven't had that opportunity, find you somebody you trust. I'm just gonna say and
yeah.
get it out there, whatever, because it can be the thing that will change your life for the
And if
rest
you
of
have
your
trust issues, you know you got trust because most people do. Then
yes,
that's a place that you're gonna have to put before the Lord and say, "Listen, God, I don't trust nobody. And so
right.
you're gonna have to show me who I can trust. And then God help me to trust you so I can trust that person to open
Yeah,
my mouth.
yeah,
Because our trust issues at the bottom line, it deals with the fact that we don't trust God.
yes,
Because if God gives us a word and says, "Hey, I want you to go talk to this person," or "I've given you this person in your life to be whoever they are to you," then you have to trust God to
right.
even enter into that, with that friendship, that
Yes,
sisterhood, that relationship, or
yes,
whatever it is. And so at
yes,
the bottom line, you have to first go and say, "Okay, God, help me to trust you." And
right,
then show me who I can trust and who I can talk to. And I
right.
know people say, "Well, I just tell God." I used to be the same way, but do you know what? We go and tell God, and then God goes and uses the body to send the answer.
Hello?
And so, yeah, I'm not saying that God won't talk back to you. I'm not saying that God won't answer you directly
Yes,
because he will absolutely do that. But we
right,
also have to be open to God using the body, the hands, the
right,
feet, the arms,
right,
the
right,
mouthpieces to
right,
get the answer to you, to get the solution or the help to you. So you
right.
gotta have to trust at
You
least, God is one person.
you have to. I remember what I was thinking in my limited thought process of electricity, but how you can have the ability, like when they're doing construction, they set that thing up so that you will be able to have lights and power and all this stuff right here. But until they hook it to, and this is in my limited, but I know this is part of it, a conduit, something to for that power to be activated and to get where it's going,
Mm-hmm.
then you will never get that power, the lights, the whatever you need in your
Right.
house. So I believe it's the same way for me in the body of Christ. So you can go holler and scream and lay it all you want to, but he uses his body to get us what we need.
Absolutely.
He has to have a, I'm gonna say conduit, because I think that's the right word,
That
to
is.
work through to get us. He's not just dropping manna out the sky no more. So
Well,
he has to.
I ain't gonna say he won't do it, sis, because God might just blow our mind.
Well, but every time he don't bless my little butt with something, somebody, it may not even be a saint. It may not even be the Christian folk. I'm
It
just
might
saying,
not be, but
but
he will use somebody.
he will use somebody, something. He gonna do something. I haven't just woke up and it's just there. You know what I'm saying? Like there have been,
Mm-hmm.
he has given me maybe a word of who to contact or who to reach out to or who to get it done. But he's
Mm-hmm.
going to use something or somebody. He has a conduit that he's going to go through. So I'm thinking, if you think, in other words, you're not an island by yourself. It just doesn't work like that.
No.
It just doesn't work
And
like
God never intended for us to be islands. He never
that.
intended for us to be isolated all the time and, oh, I'm just going to do it all myself. Because the truth of the matter is, can you really do it all yourself?
You
I,
can't.
I was just talking to one of my spiritual daughters about my conference for next year, and I said, yeah, the truth of the matter is literally I can't do it all by myself. Like,
Right.
I cannot do it. You cannot do everything. That's not saying you got to have 27 people and you got to have this big elaborate team, but you need somebody
You
to do
need somebody.
something to take some of that pressure and stress off of you, so that you can focus
Right.
on the
What?
direction that God is sending you in.
Right. Right.
He
Right.
never intended for us to do it
He
alone.
never intended for us to do it by ourselves. So reach out, find you somebody, pray to
Absolutely.
God who you need to be with or speaking to, whatever you
Uh-huh.
need to
And
do,
trust what he says.
and trust what he says. You're right. You gotta trust.
Because you know what it is, he might send us to somebody that we're like, I don't even know that person. Or I don't know that person like that. You know how we say that.
Right. Right.
But that may be the person he will
But it
send
may
us to,
be.
because that's the person who has what we
It may
need.
be.
He's already instilled it in them.
Right. He may be. I
Yeah.
had you saying something you just said, but I was thinking it reminded me of um got it, give me a word, and it was that I'm always trying to help do something, and I just up and do what I think you need done, or you might have said you had a need, and I'm like, well, let me go ahead and whatever. But he gave me that if I ask somebody, let me know what you need, just let me know. And they answer, and we do this false little humility thing. Oh, just whatever you gonna give me, God bless you, I'll take whatever. And we will take whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what you need when I told you to tell me what you need.
And you
And
can be
so
specific.
one of the things he began to share with me was, if they don't specifically tell you what they need, then you don't move. And so I can tell you, I've had it happen 3 times since he
Wow.
gave me those instructions. And I would say, just let me know if you need us to do anything, or you need anything. And the answer would be, whatever you guys would do or want to do is okay with me. And I'm sure they mean that. But I have been instructed that if they don't tell me what that need is, that I am not to move. So I
Right.
have had to walk away like,
And you know what? Sometimes we miss out on being blessed because we don't want to be specific, because we don't want to reveal what the full need is. And I'm just going to use people who have a financial need, and God has sent somebody to bless you or to assist you, and they're asking you what you need, and you say, well, you just whatever. But you need we're just gonna say $1,000. I'm just gonna,
you know what you
you
need.
need $1,000. Okay, this person may or may not give you $1,000. But if you tell them, then you could, if you don't tell them, you can miss out on getting what you need in that moment.
Because, and that's so funny too, because what it did for me was, now I don't even give you a portion of what you need because you did not respond to me. Like you didn't tell me. So whether you needed, like you said, 1,000, and I was going to give you half, or I could give you half, whatever that may be. But now, because you did not respond, you did not openly answer, I have been made to not release it all. And that's kind of where I am. So I'm saying that for somebody to hear. If you know you have a need, be open, be honest, open your mouth, stop hiding, stop pretending, stop acting like it's not, and you don't have a need there.
Drop the
You don't
pride.
exactly like
Yeah,
you don't need help, you don't need assistance. You had better open your mouth so you can get exactly what it is that
that's
you
it.
need.
And even if it's listen, y'all, even if it's not financial, sometimes you need somebody to listen to you.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And so you need to be able to say, I'm not really, because real talk, sometimes we're not really seeking advice. We just want
Right.
somebody to listen to us. We want
Right.
somebody to hear us out.
Right.
And so oftentimes a lot of people feel like they don't have anybody who will just hear them.
Hear them.
And somebody says, what do you need? Say that. Say, I just need somebody to listen. I just need
Right.
somebody to hear me.
Right.
I'm not asking you to fix it for me. I'm not asking for you to give me resolution. That's not
Right.
saying that they can't give you a resolution.
Right.
But if you need somebody to hear you, then say, I need somebody to hear me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And that's how it's got to be. So that's what I
Yeah.
know. That's the track he don't put me on. Like, walk away.
Yeah.
You ain't the fixer. You know, so
Yeah.
they can't say what they need. And like you're saying, it's not even just about money. Because I'm always like, what is that thing? You
Because
know,
God's resources come in so many forms. It comes in the form of people and the gifts they have within them. They may be able to do something for you to help your business, your ministry, your life, whatever it
yep.
is that you can't do.
Right.
They
Right.
may be able to give you something, or maybe they have a service that they offer,
Right.
and that's the exact same thing that you need, but you won't say, "Hey,
But
this
you
is what I
won't
need.
say
This is
it.
what I'm looking for." You
Isn't
just
that
never
amazing
know.
how we do that though? You know, we hiding, won't be honest, won't be open, won't be,
Yeah.
and we've
And
all
again,
been to some
it stems from being burned. It
right,
stems from all that. But here's the thing: we're gonna have to either heal and move forward and open up, or
right,
we're gonna have to, go beyond the hurt place and
right,
say, I still need some help. And
right.
so I'm gonna have to, what you said, take a risk.
I'm gonna take a risk. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to freaking take a risk at some
yeah,
point,
yeah,
and stuff. So that's where I am now, and that's the thought that I have been kind of like tossing around, as well. Is that there are so many of us that still need help, and we're
yeah.
trying to pick up and just go back to what we were doing before, and they don't work no more. That we don't been through hell. That
And
don't
but
work no more.
we've been doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And we know it's not working, but we keep expecting that something is going to change it. Because people say, well, just try again. But sometimes you have to try again differently.
Differently.
Sometimes you have to try again in a new way with some new people in a new place. Trying again doesn't necessarily mean you have to do the same thing over and over
No,
again,
and we
especially when you know it's not working.
it's not working, and we can't. We cannot. And so
Yeah,
that's where I am with that. So I want to just encourage the peoples. I'm looking at the time like, what? Okay. I just wanted to encourage the peoples to
yeah.
know
To
that
open up.
to open up,
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
understand, I know this is for men and women, but we wield a woman or women audience for the most part. Is that
Yeah,
baby, we are so powerful. We have so much in us, and I like to call it our feminine power. That we need to just reach in and let God show us how to utilize that and who we are
yeah.
in Him.
And allow him to draw it out of
And
us,
yes, because sometimes, and this is a whole nother thing. I'm definitely not going to go into this, but sometimes we have allowed, in this world, that where the men or that masculine seem to get you further than your feminine side. But
Mhm.
we got that side for a reason. It's not to be closed off and not utilized. So we have to
Right.
figure out
How to use it,
how
how
to
how to
use
use it
that.
authentically.
Yes. Yeah,
Not have to feel like we got to be like every other woman,
exactly.
but to use what God has given us. So yeah, I'm right
Right.
there with you.
Right. We
Yeah,
got to be able to do that. And so, and I know of times when I was your little masculine, little 5 foot, whatever I am. And and I can do what you and I, whatever. And I had to begin. It's okay now. When I started tapping into that side, I kind of liked it. Like and I would say, I
I
like
like
being
this
a girl.
girly side.
Yes,
I like this girly side.
I like
Yeah,
being a
yeah,
girl. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
And
it
you
and
know
it.
what? If women would just see how God has used women,
Oh my God!
and how much power they had, and because I know in the Bible there's so many different types of women, but
Right.
we will see how God used even the different types of women in the different types of situations, we just might see ourselves.
We just might
Woo,
see
that's a whole nother
ourselves. That's a
conversation right
whole.
there.
That's what I'm saying.
We
That's a
just might see ourselves in some woman who we didn't even realize what we can be, and
yes,
this thing that God did with her can show us,
yes,
oh, so I can
yes,
be that too. I can do this.
yes, yes. Just understand who what He's given us as women. Like I'm like
Yeah,
y'all. What
what he has
we
given us
look here.
something so diverse,
Yes,
and something that we can use. I mean, can you imagine one woman can do so many different things? And that's not just women. I mean, men have it too, but we miss that. We miss how much he's put on the inside of us, and
yeah.
how good it is for us when we tap into it.
When we tap
Oh
into it,
God, we miss
we
it's, and it's not
miss.
just this outer shell. You know, we like,
No,
now, we like to be cute, baby. We like some
it's
hair, we
all
like some
good.
nails, we like whatever we like.
All
Okay,
good.
but I'm
All
talking
good.
about that thing that's on the inside of us, that
Right.
when it rises up and we say, "Oh, I'm good at that. Oh, I can do that." But we have not even taken time to look to see that there's somebody somewhere who has been where we are, but they've moved into a different space. And so if I look at her, not from a, oh, who she thinks she is, or, oh, I'm
No.
not good enough, or
Right.
that's her, not me. If I look at her and say, you know what, I can do that too.
I
I
can do
may not do it the same way. It may not manifest in my life the
right.
same way, but I
Right.
can do,
But I
I can
can
move,
do
I
that.
can grow, I can, man, let me tell you something. Women are amazing. And I love
Amazing.
it when women lift other women up. And I love it when a
Amazing.
woman taps into who she is and realizes, doggone it, I got some power too. Let
Amazing.
me tell you something. Unlocked and unleashed women who just have realized
Baby.
who they are in him, and realize
Anybody.
that they have something within them, and it's
Right.
not about comparing to anybody. Baby, let me tell
To
you something. We
anybody
are
else.
baby, we are force. You hear me? We
A
something
whole
to be
force.
reckoned with.
A
Now the people might
whole
say them people
force.
crazy. Them
A
women
whole
crazy.
force. A whole force. And I absolutely love it. That's why I said, baby, they better be glad because I am peak. You know, like we can, there's so much
Bless
you do.
God, that would be you.
Oh my God. And I just every time I think about it, I'll be like, like it's so much
It's so
within us,
much.
and it's
It's
so
so
much
much.
we can do and we can accomplish. And I just want us to really be able to tap into all of that, just tap into it. So I just want to
Mm,
encourage those around us to do the same thing,
yeah,
to figure out, be okay with the feminine side of you. It's okay. And
yeah.
actually, if you tap into it, you will love it. I actually was like, oh, I kind of like this, so then I was
Mhm.
walking around announcing in my house that, oh, I'm a girl. I'm the girl up in here. And everybody be like, okay. But I was enjoying what I was learning about me,
Mhm.
whatever. And it was amazing. So that's my whole thing today is just, come out from hiding, um,
Yes.
allow, God to bring you from that place and to become the woman that He has
Yeah.
already, made us and equipped
Ask for the
us to
help you
be
need.
and everything you need, whatever. And then you can also pour into somebody else to learn and figure out who they are as a woman,
Listen,
whatever.
that is just about how we got to where we are, because we had to ask for help, we had to receive the help, and now God allows us to be the help.
Yes,
He allows us to pour
yes,
into people. You know, people
yes,
call us for whatever reason. Like the young lady who
yes,
called you. Why? Because she knew that there was something in you that
yes,
could help her. God,
yes. Hey, Nala.
it's not a cycle. It's literally a process.
Right.
It's literally like a blooming. It's a coming forth. But you got to start.
But you gotta freaking start,
You got to
you
start.
gotta start. And so just encourage everybody, stop hiding, stop lying to yourself
Hmm.
and lying to everybody around you.
Especially
Get your
those who
freedom.
can help you.
Get your freedom, get it, and then you can turn around and give it to somebody or help somebody else find that place. So I am done for the day. Sis, if you got something that you want to say, go for it. And
Nope. I
we're gonna
think
get,
that this was a great talk. I think that this
yes,
flowed just how God wanted it to. And I love that he just let us encourage the women today just by a regular conversation.
Just a
You
regular
know,
conversation.
I'm telling you, there's so much in us, and don't you just love how he just brings stuff out of
Just
you
how he just
when
brings
he
it.
needs it to come? Yeah. So I mean, I'm good. This has been a great talk. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend.
Yes.
And I really hope that y'all go ahead and come on out of hiding, like Gabrielle said. Come on out of hiding, ask for the help you need, and then be open to receive what's being said to you, so you can get
Right.
to the place that God wants you to go.
That God wants you to go.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And so I just love you guys. Only continue to pray the best for each one of you, and that you come out of hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And be truthful with yourself and those around you, so you can really, for real, I just know for me, any of that other shadiness, I have to be who I am. I can't be doing all that other stuff. And
Yeah.
then I will
It takes a
not,
lot of energy to fake it.
it take too much. I can't. And so you guys will not, well, I might try to film now. Well, I might, if I'm out walking around, I might come on and do something. I don't know, but I will be gone. So I will be disappearing for the next 2 weeks. And then I'll be back.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
So you guys have a blessed one. Love you.
Love y'all.